I recently saw a video where Andrew Huberman was interviewing David Goggins about relationships. The premise of the question was that a relationship can be something beautiful. It can be something incredibly positive to have the right person supporting you. But especially if you're a high performer, there can also be a dark side to a relationship, because this is somebody that's now taking time, effort, energy from your craft. If you are a high performer striving for absolute greatness at the highest levels, it requires a ton of time, effort, energy. And I don't remember exactly how the question was worded from Andrew Huberman, but essentially he said something along the lines of that when you have this person now, that's a warm body to wake up to. That person might want you to be comfortable and say, take a recovery day. So how do you deal with that? My name is Nanavati. I'm a Marine Corps veteran, the author of Fearvana, and an adventurer that is currently training for a solo 110-day, 1,700-mile coast-to-coast ski crossing of Antarctica. This will be the first ever unsupported ski crossing of the entire continent. Needless to say, I am training very intensely, and as a veteran turned ultra-endurance athlete, I also get compared to David Goggins a lot. It is a comparison, of course, that I'm very honored by, and considering the question from Huberman and the fact that I'm recently married, I've only been dating my wife 7 months, and we've been married about a month now, I thought I would share my take on this, because we also have a unique circumstance, my wife and I, in navigating this particular issue. In the first year of our marriage, I will be gone for 6 months. I'm going for 2 one-month training expeditions and then 4 months away in Antarctica. This presents some challenges in our relationship. How have we navigated that? As a high performer, before we even got to the phase of marriage, let alone our marriage, but even in intense dating, on our second date, we had a long talk about who I am, what I'm striving for, what this entails for us. Now, of course, I asked her the same thing of what her goals are. What are we both striving for? And we got clear on this very early into our relationship. The fundamental premise of Andrew Huberman's question was that this person might want you to not take a training day. But if you find the right person, that's not going to be the case. In fact, my wife is a savage. There are days where I don't feel like going, and she pushes me out the door because she knows how important this goal is. She knows what it's going to require. So the point is, if you are a high performer striving at the highest levels of mastery for your craft, you're going to need to find somebody who can align with that. We had this talk on date 2. We were clear. She has been incredibly supportive. At first, when we first got together, I was only going to be gone for 4 months. That then went up to 5 months and 6 months because of necessary training expeditions in order to pull off this Antarctic crossing. That presented some emotional challenges for her and for me. But we talked about it. We navigated it. I didn't just come up and tell her, hey, I'm going to go ski across Greenland or I'm going to go to Iceland. I said, hey, here's the reasons why I think this will be helpful for the crossing, but I cannot do it and I will not do it without your support. So the point is, when you are striving for your purpose and you're looking for that meaningful, beautiful relationship, it is not an either or. It is not an either or, it is a both and. I give my all to my wife, and if she was sitting next to me, she would tell you that same thing. I give my all for her, but she also knows that I have to give my all for this journey. Andrew Huberman even says this, that when I was alone, it was easier to just focus on my task. And I get it. I get it. I've been alone for a long time before now meeting my wife. And when you are alone, you don't have to think about another person's wants, their needs, their desires. So you can completely focus your entire reality on your craft. In that sense, there's some ways it's easier. But when you find the right person, they will support you. And my life has become significantly easier as a result. My wife, she's incredibly supportive. She counts my macros. I don't have to think about my diet plan. She maps it all out for me. She prepares it for me. She helps me pack my food for expeditions. She did research to find the lightest ladle that I use when I'm on expeditions. She supports the expedition in every single way. So when you are navigating this, it's about having that conversation with your partner, with your wife or your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Have that dialogue and say, hey, here's who I am. Here's what makes me come alive. Because you never want to find a partner that compromises your purpose and vice versa. Your purpose should not come in the way of your partner, and your partner should not come in the way of your purpose. They both can coexist. And it is a negotiation. It is a dialogue. So we negotiate. We talk. This is what makes me come alive. I'm an explorer and adventurer. That's where I thrive on those edges. And the right person will not come in the way of that. She'll support it. She'll help you navigate it. Now, let's say in your case, you already have a relationship and suddenly you're now striving for mastery, but it hasn't started off that way. It's not a new relationship that you've built from a strong foundation of communicating that this is who I am, but you're evolved into this because you've navigated struggles. I get it. I rose from the darkness of PTSD, depression, and alcoholism to become who I am today. The premise and the principles still apply. It's about a dialogue with your partner. Hey, this is what I need to be me at my highest level. This is what that's going to look like. It's going to look like I need to be gone for a month. I need to train incredibly hard. I'm going to be exhausted most evenings because I'm pushing my body and my mind into their limits at the brink of exhaustion. I am regularly pretty exhausted every evening because of how hard I push. But my wife is okay with that. She knows that. And there are times that we negotiate what that looks like. Hey, on my recovery day, I'm going to do XYZ for you, or even in the evenings, I take time because some days I'm tired, but I know it's important to be there. So we take time to practice dancing or whatever the thing she wants as well. These are all dialogues to be had. And if you really want all, I think it's a beautiful thing to have all. Having all means striving for your purpose and having that relationship. It's something I wanted before I met my now wife. And the challenge I always felt was, how am I going to find that person because of what I do? But when you have the right person, she or he will support you and they will guide you on your purpose, and you can create both. And there is nothing more beautiful on earth when you have the right person who loves you and you are striving to live your purpose at the highest level. So keep chasing that mastery and keep chasing that beautiful connection. It's not either or, both can. And when they do coexist, it's a beautiful thing.